the cell. And as we put this into motion, you'll be able to see the direction of this severe storm moving once again to the northeast at 20 miles an hour. And at that speed and direction, the cell is going to be moving rather quickly in the direction toward the northeast, as I mentioned, at about 20 miles an hour. And it will be near Forest by about 8:59, Townsend by 9 o'clock, Point Breeze by 9:02, and even you can see areas like Fieldsboro by 9:07. Once again, this is a severe thunderstorm, a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. The areas of concern: Middletown, Delaney Corners, Townsend, and Macy. If you know anyone that lives in this area, please advise them to get to an interior room of their home or away from the windows and wait until this dangerous storm passes. So, as you can see, the area of concern, this is the box area, and we're going to take a look as we take the radar off, and you can see the towns that we're concerned about in this particular area. So this is south of Middletown. The cell is moving northeast. We mentioned areas like Dexter Corner Road, even through Ratledge Road. This is Townsend, one of the areas under deep concern for this potential tornado. DuPont Parkway, Deer Run Road. Once again, this is a potential tornado 10 miles south of Middletown and moving toward the northeast at 20 miles an hour. So at that speed and direction, it will be near Macy, Delaney Corner, and Townsend within minutes as the storm progresses toward the north and the east. Once again, associated with this storm, we're talking about damaging winds and also the potential for some serious downpours. We're talking about rain rates of about 1 to 3 inches an hour because these are soaking storms in addition to the severe weather potential with that tornado. I'm going to bring in my colleague, Scott Williams. And Scott, we're talking about very heavy rain associated with this and damaging wind potential because these storms were generated in the Baltimore-Washington area, where even in Washington, D.C., we had a tornado warning earlier this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, temperatures today made it into the 90s again. Lots of heat, of course. Humidity just fueling these showers and thunderstorms. And you can see that heavy rainfall just coming down in sheets. We were, of course, just doing a Facebook Live talking all about the heavy rainfall moving through the I-95 corridor. But let's switch over to maps, and you can just really kind of see a little bit of that intensity moving through sections of Delaney Corner, moving toward the Townsend area. This is moving on off to the north and the east. Of course, a little spin, a little rotation with this. Zooming in, and you can see Dexter's Corner moving toward Highway 13. Moving through the southern part of Newcastle County, of course, there has been some Doppler radar indicated rotation with this. And of course, this was the same system that had a tornado warning around D.C. earlier this evening. Moved through the Chesapeake Bay, the eastern shore of Maryland, and now it has a little bit of spin still with it. So those areas in question, the Smyrna area, you have some of those roads on there, of course, moving Oak Hill Road, moving just to the north and east there of the Smyrna, Delaware area. And also look at this, the Townsend area, you're included in that. This tornado warning just south of Middletown, Delaware, but moving from the Massey area into sections of southern Newcastle County. Look at that. The blue, that is showing us where there has been some rotation on ultimate Doppler. So it's had a history, of course, of some of that severe weather. So scattered severe thunderstorms still likely, especially now, central, southern Delaware into parts of South Jersey. So we're not out of the woods yet. And we were talking about this earlier, Kathy, looking at some of that helicity with this system. There was a little bit through central as well as southern parts of Delaware. So severe thunderstorm watch still in effect through midnight for most of the area. And yes, the flood watch, that continues. But let's get back to Barron and you, Kathy, for much more on that tornado warning. Still in effect until 9:15 for Newcastle County.
Yeah, we're keeping a careful eye on that because I was just looking through all of the indicators that pick up the possibility of rotation, as you were, Scott, and I'm looking for the shear. That's one thing that we look at, and you can see some shear markers here, and that is the wind spinning higher up in the atmosphere at different speeds and directions, indicating some spin. So we have a little bit of shear. As we look at the past hour, there's been more, so it looks like that may be diminishing. And we're looking at a hail indicator as well. I'm not seeing much in the way of that or debris, which is a good sign, because debris would mean that something actually touched the ground and we had some type of debris as a result. So that's actually good news. We're looking at the velocity here as well to see if there's any indication of some spin as well, which there is a little bit in this, so we'll keep a careful eye on that. But the heavy rain is really significant with this, so you have potentially a rain-wrapped tornado, and this moving toward the northeast, as I mentioned, at about 20 miles an hour. So it is dumping an enormous amount of rain in a very short period of time. Obviously, if you know anybody in this area, please tell them to suspend any type of travel. So it was the rotating thunderstorm was indicated 10 miles south of Middletown, and Townsend, one of the areas that we're concerned about within this warning area. So Pine Tree Road, Summit Bridge Road, Green Giant Road, Ratledge Road, even Eagle Nest Landing Road. This entire area is under that tornado warning, as Scott mentioned, until 9:15. So make sure you get into a safe and wait until this storm passes. And as you can see, associated with this, additional severe weather with very heavy rain right along the I-95 corridor, with multiple reports of flood warnings in Philadelphia County, in Delaware County, Chester County. We are under flash flood warnings. That means flooding is happening, and you should never drive across a road that is covered with water. We've had multiple reports of water rescues, of roads being blocked off because of how heavy this rain is. So right now we do have that tornado warning until 9:15 for Newcastle County, but we also have other reports of flash flooding that is significant as well. An additional severe thunderstorm warning for Sussex County, that is until 9:30, but really the focus is on this tornado warning that we've been watching and will continue to do so as it moves toward the east and northeast really slowly at about 20 miles an hour. And when we see that, we're talking about very slow-moving systems that are going to be dumping a lot of rain. And I'm going to take a look at the accumulated rain to see what it looks like over this area. And you can see we've had so much. These yellows, if I take a look at how much rain this is. That's 3.7 inches of rain. That's near Chadds Ford. This is in Delco, 3.1 inches of rain. And right along the border of Newcastle County and the southern part of Chester County, 4 inches of rain. So this is why we have that flood warning up through our southeastern parts of Pennsylvania and that northern part of Newcastle County. And then you look at these other areas in Newcastle County, 2 inches of rain. Where we have the tornado warning, we do not have those types of rain rates just yet, but our computer system will definitely catch up, and I have a feeling we're going to see at least 2 to 3 inches of rain in this particular area as well. So we can't emphasize enough, it is not safe to be out driving in this evening, and in this particular area where our warning is, this is our area of concern. And once again, if I remove the radar, you're going to be seeing exactly where this warning area is. This is our tornado warning area south of Middletown. Townsend is included, Massey is included, Delaney Corner, and it will continue to move toward the east as far as that threat is concerned. And once this tornado warning is allowed to expire, most likely eastward, it will continue as a severe thunderstorm threat. So Townsend, we mentioned as one of the areas, Sawmill Road, Oak Hill School Road. If you live in any of these areas or communities, you know anyone that's out, please give them a call and let them know that a dangerous storm is moving through. We did mention that part of the problem with these severe cells has been the heavy rain and the cold front that is trying to make its way through the region. It's also the tropical humidity that we've had over us. If we look at our setup, this is what's going on right now. We have warm, humid air over us. Here comes this cold front, and it's squeezing all this moisture eastward. And this is the line of storms from Philadelphia through D.C., Richmond, all the way down to Charlotte. So millions of people impacted by these storms right now, and visibility in some areas reduced. Visibility at 10 miles is typically good. We're down to 2 miles in many locations because of the heavy rain, and we're looking at some very gusty winds in some areas across the area, and dew points, that's the moisture, the humidity over the region, in the 70s for most of us, especially where we're seeing the severe weather, and that is tropical humidity, what we're seeing right now, and heavy rain everywhere. This, of course, is in Delaware County with extreme heavy rain, where we have a flood warning in effect. That is in Media, Delaware County, and elsewhere we have conditions that have been just deluged with heavy precipitation in the form of flooding rain. So that's something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on across the entire region. But once again, our main concern is this area, this tornado-warned area. And we do have information of even some water rescues where we have that flood warning in effect. So very heavy rain, significant wind is possible in the tornado-warned area. Scott?
Yeah, absolutely, Kathy. While you're moving that map in, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening right now on our maps radar. And you can see clearly a little bit of rotation moving through sections of Newcastle County, a little bit of spin there, and that's just south of 301, moving through Highway 13. A lot of people, of course, take this on their way to the Delaware beaches, but looking at a little rotation, a little spin around the Townsend area down to Walker. So once again, we're talking about rainfall rates for this particular cell, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches per hour. There's vivid lightning. There's blinding rainfall with this as well. Just kind of zooming in. Dexter Corners, you can see right now we're looking at some heavy rainfall. Delaney Corner, this has moved on off to the north and east of you, but anywhere between Townsend, Walker, along Highway 13, right through sections of Delaware. So zooming in a little closer, and you can see that bullseye around Townsend down to the Blackbird area. Let's switch back over to the Barron radar, and you can kind of see a little bit of a couplet, if you will, moving through that area. But look at some of the roads. You're underneath that tornado warning. Dexter Corner Road, we're talking about Blackbird Forest Road, Ratledge Road, Greer's Corner Road. You need to be in your safe place. DuPont Parkway goes right through that area just outside of the Townsend vicinity. And then as we move toward places like Ebenezer Church Road, also it looks like what do we have there? We have Money Road, Fieldsboro Road, Old State Road, Deer Run Road. So moving right through Highway 17 between Townsend as well as even getting down to the Walker area there in sections of Newcastle County, Delaware. So let's switch back to our maps radar, and you can see how we're watching that heavy rainfall pushing through Newcastle County, southern Newcastle County. This is just south of Middletown, Delaware. Middletown, of course, you're getting the heavy rainfall as well. Highway 15, 301, Highway 1, moving through sections of Newcastle County, Delaware. Here's another analysis of the rotation. There was some good rotation around the Massey area. That's in Maryland. Then it crossed into sections of Newcastle County, Delaware. So Highway 13 running right there just to the east of Townsend. And yes, there was a little bit of helicity in the atmosphere this evening. So once again, tornado warning in effect until 9:15 for Newcastle County. So this is what it means. Go to a basement. If you don't have a basement, of course, go to an interior room, windowless closet or bathroom. You want to get away from those windows. So here's another look. Tornado safety if you don't have a basement, and how things could just be rain wrapped, because I mean we're talking about those heavy bands. We were just outside of our studios before this tornado warning doing Facebook Live. So here's a look at the home, and you can just see what we're talking about. You want to avoid those windows, doors, and outside walls, and you want to be in an interior part of your home. Once again, this tornado warning's in effect until 9:15 for Newcastle County in Delaware, southern Newcastle County, just south of Middletown, Delaware, the Townsend area, Dexter Corners, the Massey area as well. So basement obviously is the best place. Now, outside of this tornado warning, we still have it highlighted there on the map, but take a look at all of those flood reports that have been coming in through Philadelphia County, Delaware County, Newcastle County, as well as Chester County. So that just tells you the heavy rain associated with this, but still looking at The severe weather threat right through midnight across the area, as well as that flood watch through 2 a.m. With this system. So as we go hour by hour, still looking at rounds of rainfall that will be pushing through the area. Ground stop, obviously, at the airport. No flights inbound or outbound. And once again, as we take a look at this radar, you can kind of see that little hook, if you will, that bow that kind of extends from Townsend to the Walker area right through Highway 13. So we'll just zoom in here a little bit and show you Taylor's Corner in New Castle County. Point Breeze, you're underneath this as well. So this has been moving to the north and east slowly. So training showers and thunderstorms with this system. Kathy, are you seeing anything else on the velocity tracker or on the other source?
You know what, I'm looking at that right now, and here is our warning area as we take a zoom out, and you can see the warned box here. And as I take a zoom in on the radar, I have to make sure I'm not including that box. So I'll take the warning off, and we'll look at the velocity, and you can see in this area, if I had the warning back on, we're seeing winds toward the radar. We're not seeing, I have to take the warning off because you can be confused by the color.
They just kind of shrunk the box area as well. Did you see that they just
exactly. And here it is. It's a little bit more condensed now. Yep. Rose Valley Estates, Taylor's Corners, Meadow Vista, and even Townsend. If I zoom out, you're going to be able to see this a little bit better. Yeah. So here is the warning box, and you can see it extending toward the south and east, more towards Smyrna at this point, Scott.
And they're going to continue it. I just got an alert. They're going to continue the tornado warning until at least 9:15. So it says it's located potentially near Green Spring.
Okay.
That's in New Castle County, and moving to the northeast at 20 miles per hour.
Okay, let's see. We're seeing the heavy rain. This box extends all the way down from Ratledge Road through Massey Church Road into Black Diamond Road into Clark Farm Road, which is a larger thoroughfare, even extending into Dexter Corner Road. So this is the area of concern. And I was looking at the shear, and I'm going to take the warning off because you can see the red there. Not a tremendous amount of shear right here on the map right now, or hail, Scott. I haven't seen a lot of hail signatures or debris with this, which is a good thing. When I was looking at the velocity, you can see a lot of green, a lot of wind toward the radar.
Yeah. And we've lost the daytime heating, so that helps a lot too.
Exactly. So right now, I'm looking at heavy rain and the potential for some damaging winds. I'm trying to get a severe indicator here, but it's not showing up for me. So as far as the track is concerned, we know that the storm is moving. Is it still to the northeast at 20 miles an hour?
Northeast at about 20 miles per hour.
So it's the same speed.
It's moving just right over Highway 13 as we go back to the map source, and you can just really see the heavy rainfall just in between Middletown as well as the Townsend area. Now, Middletown's not really included in that tornado warning, but you probably should just treat this as such because nonetheless, we're talking about the potential for damaging wind gusts in excess of 60, 70 miles per hour with this, and you can see it lifting on off to the northeast at about 20 miles per hour now, moving the heavy rainfall right along Highway 13, just going right through sections of New Castle County in Delaware. So once again, we'll kind of zoom into this, and you can see we're looking at the Blackbird area, Taylor's Corner. You're under this. Very heavy rainfall. Rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour with this. So many locations north of this along the I-95 corridor getting back into Pennsylvania have already seen 3 or more inches of rainfall because the rainfall rates have just been so intense, and it's only moving 15 to 20 miles per hour. So once again, that tornado warning continues for another 6 minutes or so. So we're just watching this as it continues lifting to the north and east. If you're watching us in kind of central southern parts of New Castle County in Delaware, we've been watching showers and thunderstorms move from Maryland, the eastern shore of Maryland, with a little rotation, a little shear with them, some twist, some spin in the atmosphere. So that is what has prompted this. So once again, there's been some shear with this. More notable, I would say, probably in Maryland when this cell was in Maryland, but just zooming in without the radar, showing you some of the highways and some of the roads and streets impacted here. Green Meadow Court, Edgar Road, South Street, Lake Valley Drive in sections of Newcastle County. Moving right along, this is Highway 71, Witherspoon Way. Looks like we have Minglewood Drive. You're included in that tornado warning. Money Road, moving toward Ginn Street. We're just showing you some of the locations and neighborhoods. New Discovery Road. It looks like Union Church Road is included in that as well. Back down to Queen Anne's Drive, the Blackbird area. Let's see, Ponder Lane, Black Diamond Road, Tina Marie Lane. If you are in sections of Newcastle County, Delaware, within this box, that is where we have the current tornado warning. So very heavy rainfall, lots of wind with this. I just got an alert in here, and let me just see. They're going to allow it to expire.
Okay,
so
good.
that's the good news. So
yeah.
It's until 9:15, but they're going to allow it to expire.
That's great. Great news, Scott. I mean, we're looking at the radar right now, and you can see that heavier rain was moving out of that particular area. So that is definitely good news. So the tornado warning that was indicated south of Middletown, Delaware, in Newcastle County has been allowed to expire. We continue with the warnings in Pennsylvania, of course, flash flood warnings in the Philadelphia, Delaware County, and Chester County areas. Those continue till midnight. If there's any additional severe weather, tornado warnings will be the first to let you know. And of course, have full team coverage beginning on Fox 29 News at 10 o'clock. Stay safe out there tonight, and we'll see you at 10.